I've grown my curls long several times while straightening and coloring my hair all at the same time. Today, I thought I'd share all the things that I've learned along my journey to grow my curls thicker and longer despite not following the curly girl method. These tips are suitable for every hair type, texture, and even those of you who choose to style your curls with heat. I cut my tailbone length hair to collarbone length at I think the end of June, beginning of July this year, because I just really needed a change. At this point, I've never been happier with the health and condition of my curls. Obviously, my curls aren't back to tailbone length, but I don't think I'm ever gonna do that hair length ever again because I've had my hair like that most of my life and I think I'm just pretty much over it at this point. All of that was just to say everyone is different. There is not one length or thickness that absolutely everybody will be happy with. It's okay to have different hair goals and for it not to be super long, okay? I know that's kind of like the bar. For me, it isn't right now, and it's okay if that's not yours either. We're gonna see how long my hair is right now after cutting it up to here. Can you see? That is how long my hair is right now. Now that I've showed you guys the receipts, let's get into my tips. Being more minimal when it comes to wetting your hair is great for preventing moisture overload. For those of you who don't know what moisture overload is, it's basically when your curls become so overhydrated that they become damaged. Some of the symptoms of that could be very limp, dull hair. Your hair is so moisturized and mushy that it easily tears apart, rips, or breaks. There could be less elasticity in your curls, less bounce back, and you can experience more split ends than normal. The concept of this is pretty comparable to the idea of root rot in plants. Whenever you overwater a plant and it sits in water for too long, the plant roots actually start to rot. They become mushy and they fall apart. The problem with that is if it isn't allowed to fully dry out in between waterings, it could eventually lead to the death of the plant. Now, I'm not saying that your hair is gonna fall out of your head due to overhydration, okay? It's just not that serious. Depending on how thick your curls are, re-wetting and combing through your hair several times a week can potentially lead to moisture overload. This is especially important for those of you who see that your curls are stopping at a certain length. If you're re-wetting it and brushing it and doing all these things that could lead to breakage and tension in your hair, that's why, girl, it grows out of the scalp, but it's too weak to stay. I'm sorry if the lighting is changing so many weird ways. The clouds are dipping out of the sun. It's not as sunny as it usually is. And now the sun is coming out. Dude. One thing I've consistently done over the years is washing my hair once a week. Instead of washing my hair and then re-wetting it throughout the week to refresh my curls, I wash my curls every 7 days, set it and forget it. To help the longevity of my curls, I like to wear curly up juice throughout the week instead of just wearing it out and down the entire time. If I feel like my hair has dried out a little bit too much by the time I get to the end of the week, I'll just spritz it down with a little bit of water, and I mean like a little bit. I put some oil on it and braid it up. Maintaining a schedule of washing and setting my curls once a week has helped my curls to grow and be their healthiest without overdoing it. When it comes to sleeping with our curls, there are a lot of basics that we already know, right? Like pineappling our hair, sleeping on a satin pillowcase, wearing a satin bonnet if that is your thing. But there's one thing that's commonly done that wreaks havoc on your scalp and your hair health. Can you guess what that is? I'll give you a second, I'll give you a minute. Sleeping on wet curls. Sleeping on wet hair can potentially cause fungal infections, dandruff, and breakage. The condition of your scalp is the most important thing to pay attention to when it comes to healthy hair growth. Do your best to avoid wearing tight, wet styles to bed. This creates the perfect scenario for thinning your hair out and breakage. If you prefer to shower at night, don't worry, I got you. Give your curls a chance to air out at least 90% before going to bed. There are a myriad of ways that you could do this. If you want to go completely heatless, you can use a microfiber towel, a fan. If you are not afraid of heat, you could also diffuse or use a hooded dryer, or you could use a combination of all 4 of those things to help speed along the process. It's up to you, whatever your hair drying preference is. This tip may be considered somewhat controversial, but this is something that has been working for me throughout my entire curly hair journey, and that is applying deep conditioners to the scalp. Yes, I said applying deep conditioner to the scalp. You didn't hear me incorrectly. That is what I said. Here is why. Applying deep conditioners from your scalp all the way to your ends is actually good for healthy hair growth. I know a lot of people are probably gonna lose their minds or freak out after hearing me say this, but hear me out. It provides nutrients to your scalp that your hair needs in order to grow. If you're experiencing dryness, dandruff, and slow growth, this could be one of the reasons why your scalp may be neglected. It's also most likely a sign that your scalp needs to be shampooed and moisturized properly to optimize its health so that your hair can grow freely and happily. Treating the scalp with hair masks can help to heal and protect the health of the scalp. Think about it this way. If you get a pimple and you use a spot treatment, where would you put the spot treatment to heal it? On the pimple, right? It wouldn't make any sense to put it anywhere else than the area that needs the treatment. It's the same exact thing with your hair mask. Your scalp has skin on it. That actually needs love and care too in order for it to be as healthy as it could possibly be. The key is to use masks that have ingredients that are safe to put on your scalp and then shampoo it out once you're done with your deep conditioning session. I personally prefer to use DIY hair masks, but you could use whatever mask you prefer. Steps are as follows. I deep condition from scalp all the way to my ends, shampoo and exfoliate once a week with my shampoo brush. There will be moments when your curls just simply need a break. Constantly having your hair out and down isn't always the best thing for your curls. The reason why is because this leaves room for it to rub up against different surfaces, causing friction, resulting in knots and breakage from mid-shaft to ends. For me, my problem area is at the nape of my neck. I noticed that hair doesn't grow out as thick and easily as the rest of my hair. The texture there is more fine and it gets roughed up a lot more easily. I began doing two things to help remedy that issue. The first thing I've been doing is sealing with an oil, and the second thing I've been doing is wearing low tension protective styles. Adding in some variety with protective styles has been a major way I grow my curls long, fast. An important factor to protective styles actually working is using styles that don't put stress or strain on your scalp. There's one style that I do in particular that I swap out in between wash and goes, and that is twist braids. It's a simple no-fuss style that keeps my hair detangled, my ends protected and tucked away. I've already made a full tutorial on how I do that style, but there are also some other ones I started to incorporate since trying them out. Both tutorials will be in the description box. My two biggest components for thicker, longer curl growth has been eating healthy and DIY hair treatments. And when I say eating healthy, I don't mean taking hair growth supplements. What we eat directly affects our bodies, hair and scalp included. Incorporating healthy fats, fruits, veggies, and certain proteins can allow you to grow healthier curls. One thing I've been consistently consuming for years and years and years is green juice and green smoothies. I drink one every single day without exception. I usually switch up the variations of fruits and veggies, but either kale or spinach is included in my smoothies. Both kale and spinach are rich in vitamins and minerals that help to encourage healthy hair growth. I could literally go on, but I'll link a few articles about the best foods for hair growth down below for you guys so that you can do your own deep dive and decide for you what you want to incorporate into your diet. DIY hair treatments with natural ingredients have made a huge impact on the rate of my hair growth and its thickness. There are tons of ways you can incorporate fresh ingredients into your curl regimen: hair masks, oils, shampoos, stylers, rinses. I have an entire playlist filled with DIYs that you guys can try out just to get your wheels turning. My advice would be to pick the one that appeals the most to you and start experimenting until you find the right one for you. If you guys have some unique tips for healthy curl growth, sound off in the comment section below. I would personally love to know. It makes for a better Lotus Flower Life Life community. Links for everything I mentioned is going to be in the description box. If you have any extra questions about anything, they most likely are answered in the description box, so make sure you check that first. Remember to subscribe, like, and share this video for more content like this, and as always, I'm sending you all the love, light, and good vibes, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello my loves. In today's video, I'm sharing how to do a flexi rod set with a heatless way to stretch your curls and save on drying time. To be as thorough as possible, details like parting, how many flexi rods I use, the size of the rods, and products are all included. You'll see how I prepare my curls for a flexi rod set and preserve them with a 2-week update to show how well they last at the end of the video. This method is super easy, great for beginners, and it can work for any curl type. To save on time, you'll want to stretch your curls the morning before you plan on doing your flexi rod set. First, I divide my hair into 2 even sections, or 4, depending on how stretched I want my curls to be. As a general rule, the curlier your hair is, the more sections you want to do to stretch it. If you want the option of drying your flexi rod set with a bonnet dryer, apply heat protection